That's literally unboxing. What better time to talk about depression at work? Hi, this was supposed to be an outdoor video, but it's raining outside, so I really just had to do this video because it's very important. It's about depression at work, and it's a bit of a tricky question. I don't think I can finish it, but I'll just try to share a bit from my experience and what I've been hearing about other people's experiences of depression at work, and also from an employer's point of view. Now, on one hand, you have the issue of the lack of awareness and understanding about what depression is. So people think like being depressed is about being just sad, and it's something you can just knock off or you can just get away with within like 2-3 days. But you see, that's where understanding depression is covered in another video, so I'm not going to go through it. But the point is, a lot of people don't understand it. So when you take depression at work, there are a lot of dynamics. You have the employers, you have, say, the colleagues, and you have your vendors, and you have your customers. Interacting with these four different segments of people can be a challenge to those who are actually facing depression. There are those who are sincerely serious about their work and they really want to get better, and work actually is a good factor for their recovery. If you take work away from them, not only are you going to compound the feeling of worthlessness or failure among them because they already have that, you're also going to take away something meaningful from them, something that gives them accomplishment, and above all, their livelihood. I mean, without a job, what income can they have? If they feel threatened at work, yes, they are in a way compromised in their performance, because maybe, like for myself, I can't wake up on time, I can't sleep on time because I have insomnia, and but if the company can recognize that you have depression, it's not just the company, or should I say the employer, because everyone else, the other three, also has to embrace it. Like your fellow colleagues have to understand that since you're having this, that is why things are like that. It's not that a company is going to give you favorable treatment if they were to give you flexi hours, or even day offs as and when you feel sick. I mean, because this is in a way a form of sickness. And yes, maybe in company policy you have about 24 days of medical leave, but that's not going to be enough for those with depression, and that's going to affect their quarterly or annual appraisal, because they can't be present at all times. But to take disciplinary action against them, to take some kind of action against them, is going to be counterintuitive. It's going to make things even worse, because, as you know, I mean, understanding depression is covered in other videos, so I'm not going to go through that. But bottom line is, if, let's say, from an employee's point of view, or even the colleagues, if you're going to say like, oh, tough love, I'm going to tell you off for your own good. Yes, your heart is in the right place, but then you can't tell off because they are not normal. I like to use this analogy. I think you've heard it quite a number of times already by now. If I were to cut off a leg, so can I run, or can I even walk the same way as other people who have 2 legs can? Can I stand as fast as they can? Can I stand as long as they can? See, you have to understand that this is, for the lack of a better word, a sort of impairment. It's not something that you can get over, it's something you can manage. So like, if I have only 1 leg, so I'll manage with it, I'll adapt. I will perhaps prosthetics and all that. So likewise for depression, very, very simply, I'm going to say it's sort of like malfunction of the reward system. So anything that makes you feel good and makes you feel happy either doesn't work or works a lot less right now, and that makes you frustrated, makes you feel angry, worthless, blah blah blah. That's depression in a nutshell. Coming back to disciplinary action. If you were to do something like, take some kind of action, it will make them feel worse. It's not going to make them feel better. You can, your heart could be in a good place saying that, yeah, we're going to give you some tough love, we're going to give you some harsh words, we're going to give you disciplinary action that hopefully would wake you up, or it works for normal people with 2 legs, but not the ones with 1 leg. That's what I'm trying to get at. So if you look at it from an employer's point of view, they are paying you. Let's say me, my employer is paying me to perform a certain task, carry out certain responsibilities. So if I can do that, but not within the 9 to 5 frame of time, if I can do that, it would be still beneficial to the company, but would it be beneficial to my colleagues? So that is another point of contention. And then you got your vendors. Of course, vendors will, or should I say external parties, consultants and all that, they also will be affected because because of the performance issues, perhaps in a way of being there on time or what, they could be affected. And also it could affect customers. If customers try, for example, if a customer tried to call to get some kind of feedback and they are not available at that time, it's not going to be good. So where does depression fit in today's working environment or anytime? See, I'm sorry to say, if we are going to have to live in an inclusive society, we have to know how to accept people with depression the same way we accept people with disabilities. I'm afraid it is. If you look at it that way, it's easier to understand. I know it's a very complex thing, but it's easier to understand if you look at it from a point of view like those who are going through depression have a disability, and it would be easier to understand that although they look fine, they look perfect, but they have this disability of actually being always on top of their game. When you look at it that way, then it's easier to understand that, okay, let's say this person with depression hasn't been coming to work, has been acting up, showing a bit of attitude, loss of focus, loss of motivation. Maybe it could have been a star employee 2-3 years ago, but now suddenly it just turned around because of the depression has surfaced, the symptoms have surfaced, it's not being managed well, it's not being treated well. What can an employer do? Let's begin with the employer first. Just as the approach with people with disability, of course you go, if this employee is a real asset to the organization, then you'll find a way to actually include this person in some capacity. For instance, like I'll use myself for example. I am fortunate that my company, my employer, has given me the freedom to work from home or from the office, with the condition that at least more than half of the time I'm in the office. Of course, having a conscience, I'll definitely want to be in the office as much as I can. But if I really can't because of my condition, I will still complete my task from wherever I am, be it from home or from outside, because I just cannot get to the office. But I have to attend my meetings. If I have a meeting at 10 a.m, I have to be there. If I have a meeting at 2 a.m, yeah, I have to be there. It's a job. I'm getting paid for it, so I have to do that for meetings and such. But for tasks, carrying out responsibilities or account, I do it at my own pace because it's so hard for me to get up and put myself in a frame of mind like today is going to be a normal day, because I'm not normal. I admit. If I was normal, I wouldn't be making this video. It's as simple as that. So find a way to work around what they're capable of. Of course, ask them if they are really interested or if they are really committed to get better and really sincere in doing their job, not just using their depression as an excuse not to do anything. Of course, you know there will be people abusing this, like just because they've been diagnosed with depression, so then they will start acting up and acting like divas. They require special needs and such. Yes, they do require special needs, but to a certain extent. So that's where you have to draw the line. How far can you go? If you can't, then maybe you can place a person in a smaller capacity of work, but try not to jump into a conclusion just to, it's either or. It's not an all or nothing kind of a situation. Maybe this person can work in a smaller capacity, but still, at least it gives them an opportunity to work and also to recover. Because without a job, if you look at the Maslow hierarchy of needs, the base requirement is sustenance. We're talking about shelter, food, and without income, you don't have all this, and it's going to affect anyone, not just anyone with depression, but anyone. So if they feel threatened about their work or their career, it's going to affect them 2 or 3 or 4-fold. It's going to be really, really bad. So it's not going to be easy, but how we are going to be inclusive to accept people with depression in the workplace, to find where they can fit in. For me, the quick solution is to view it as a disability, because it's so much easier to understand it, because it's been around for years. People with disabilities, like even those who are in wheelchairs, still contribute to the society in a very meaningful way, because there are ways for them to do it. So how about those with depression? There are ways. They are humans. We are humans. We have feelings, only just a little bit different. But if there's a will, there's a way. And I am all for employers who are serious about taking care of their staff, who care about their staff, because I think in any organization, the most valuable asset you have are your employees. Your employees are your family. You don't kick them down at their worst time in their life. You do your best to help them, even if it's going to be hard, but it has to start now. We can't put this off anymore.